Kenneth, how are you feeling today?
Well, I feel good. I feel good also because it's summer, and for me, summer is a good place to be.
Okay.
I live in a boathouse during the summer period, so that I have that sense of freedom. So, as long as it's summer, whenever I'm asked that question, I'm I'm very good about it.
So the boathouse is, we're having this conversation, we had this conversation as well before. Yeah, the boathouse symbolizes a safe space for you.
It is a safe place where you're tranquil, your mind works. It's a bit of a, I call it a space for freedom of both of thought and of spirit. Basically, I feel quite free internally. So I'm in a happy space in that place.
And what does that mean to you, the sense of freedom? Why is it important for you?
It is important because sometimes with the busy life, you're always with your mind speeding at 1,000 miles an hour, thinking about what to do next, the family responsibility and everything. Whilst I'm in my space, in my Adira boathouse, I feel that although that thought process is still there, but I tackle it in a totally different way.
Yeah,
it's like I'm nothing worries me unless it's something which is health related. But anything short of that, whatever comes. When in winter, I feel that I'm more stressed about it.
Okay.
There, I'm stress free. That's how I feel. so it's that's the sense of freedom. That basically you're a bit of a free animal. Basically, it's like I'm with my shorts, with my flip flops. Nothing basically to not feel no chains.
Yes.
No, and strings attached. Basically, I feel that sense of freedom.
And it sounds very liberating, even in thought. And before we started the shoot, we were speaking about the working from home and what it means to you working from home, from the boathouse as well. Just if you have a tough meeting, you just put on your swimsuit and you just head to the beach.
Exactly.
And do a swim and then return back to work.
Because it's just across the road. So basically,
Yes.
in 2 minutes, I'm in the sea, and basically, so it's a way of life for me, and I've been like this for the past 25 years. So it's a way of life that brings me joy, and I tackle things in a totally different way when I'm there. I don't know what it is, but really that the thing that you're, let's say, in nature, and basically the sea is such a friend to help you with your daily stress. Yes, literally. Sometimes you have a tough call. It's there. Jump in the sea. 15 minutes. You're back, and it's like nothing happened. So.
Did you purchase the boathouse yourself?
Yes,
All right,
I did.
So it was
It was because I used to go to my uncles and aunts because they also had a similar boathouse. So since the age of I don't know 4 or 5, I'm used to be at Adira Bay in summer. Going there frequently, living there, enjoying it, playing with my cousins and everything. So for me, it's like I'm 52, but still feel like a kid when I'm there.
Yes.
So that's for me, it's a very important place. Let's put it that way. So to be.
And I think it's very reassuring to have that place, a home, not a house. That what means to be a home. To find a place even within us, so that we feel safe and secure and free to be who we want to be.
And it's small, so you're not thinking about cleaning. You're not thinking about there's nothing to lose.
Yes.
There's no alarms. It is literally when you have, let's say, maybe a big house, or you're always worry about,
Yeah.
what could happen. Or there, you have where to sleep, where to get a shower.
Just the basics.
Just the basics. And when you're back to basics, you realize that you don't really need much in life to be happy.
Yes.
So and that keeps me grounded. So that experience and that thought process keeps me grounded in what to expect and what I want. So for me, it's not just it's a summer house. It's a lifestyle. It's a mindset.
It gives you perspective as well.
It gives you perspective. Because really with very little you can be happy. Because at the end of the day, I think we're all about being happy. That's.
I think you get used to living with so little as well. I think we live in a society where we are afraid to not have enough means to live with.
Yeah.
We feel that we always need more. We always want more. But in reality, with the basic stuff, we'll get by.
You get by, and it's also a place where there are a number of these. So basically, you have friends, a community. So it's still the old type when if let's say my neighbor needs I don't know a can of tomatoes and he doesn't have it, he'll shout, "They have." And basically, so you share a lot. So it's a place where you share as well a lot because there's not much privacy. Sure. So everyone is close to each other.
I think it's most popular with the locals.
It's locals, yeah. So there's still that sense of community that you will lose in the big place. Everyone now is in apartments, and so almost you don't know who lives in your street anymore.
Really, especially if you live in a very crowded area and there are a lot of blocks of apartments basically.
Literally, so it gives you that, and it was also a place where I could bring up my children. Still going with the bicycle, rather than on their PlayStation. so they got to do a lot of outdoor activity with a lot of friends, So it's a good space.
What I'm thinking about, Canada, and what I'm finding a bit funny in a way, is that from the conversation that we had both here and before and elsewhere, is that you're a very people's person. But this also contrasts your work, because you work remotely in most cases. You meet with people, and as we'll discuss perhaps later on, your work is based on relationship building and
yes,
all of that.
Very much so.
But you work on a very individualistic basis.
Yes, today that's my job, and it's been like this from COVID. So it was a big shift for me because I've been in leadership positions where I had many people reporting, I enjoyed it, the fact that you had people and big teams, So it was a big shift moving from always, with office and a lot of people reporting. Basically, have a big community to work with and taking care of, as opposed to overnight you become a one-man show. Not going to the office because basically most of the work is international. So basically you do a lot of, let's say, work from home, so it's it was a big shift for me, even to understand how to deliver and sell online, for example, which I'm used to. Looking at people, looking at eyes, faces, body language. That's what I'm trained on, and you interpret where things are going just from that. Online became a total, but it worked.
What was the greatest lesson that you've learned, which is perhaps different to?
I think the greatest lesson would be that whatever the medium you're using, as long as you understand that medium and give
sales.
Medium of sales, because obviously now all of a sudden you're selling through a screen. That's your laptop, you don't have that personal interaction, that physical interaction. So as long as you learn how to work, play with that and experiment with that medium, then everything is possible. That is, you put a lot of, let's say, barriers in your mind that, but how am I going to do it? Because I'm used to do it for 25 years and everything,
Yes.
But it still worked as long as you're not afraid of the change, basically. So you give it. So I think it continues to reinforce what drives me. Which is embracing change. I love change. So basically, whilst many people hate it, I almost thrive on it and want it. I get bored very easily. So it was a big challenge to go through that process, basically.
Was this the biggest change that you've gone through in life, or is there something else that you consider to be more meaningful, perhaps not bigger, but more meaningful?
No, I think there were others which are. This one was more of a way how to do it. So it is a change on how to do what you know how to do.
Okay.
So I would say I've been selling and negotiating since the age of 20. I'm 52 today, so it's 32 years of that. So for me, it's a natural. I've been trained into it, so for me it comes natural. It's not a challenge doing that, but the way and a different medium, is always a challenge because you need to understand the dynamics of it.
Sure.
So I spent some time, for example, doing cold calling, trying to do appointments, selling life insurance. You learn that a phone is a medium where I'm naturally a fast speaker. Once no one is watching you and you need to project what you need just by voice, you understand that you need to slow your rhythm, pace it. It's a science in its own. So every medium has its own, let's say, science.
Yeah.
So that's the change is the how rather than the what. So there's a, but then there were other big, let's say, changes in life. So changing completely the industry. And changing by going to lead in a place where everyone is the expert and you don't know nothing about the industry and you're leading it. So that's a big.
How did you manage to earn the trust of the people that reported to you?
So I spent the first 15 years in financial services. So I'm trained basically as a private banker, but that's let's say my training. But then changed completely and went into telecommunications. So the trust was built in basically at the time they needed someone coming from the outside,
Okay.
who could basically, because there were a group of people who were a very good group of people, but the idea was that if one is promoted, then if you have 4 people who are at the same level and one of them is promoted, it creates more harm than good, and want someone from the outside coming in. And I don't know, basically, I was chosen to lead that, but knowing zero about the industry. So basically,
was the fact that you didn't know enough about the industry the biggest hurdle in that situation?
In that situation, yes.
Okay.
So in that situation, so to give you an idea, which was quite funny, once I was chosen, so basically I moved from financial services into telecommunications.
Okay.
And the CEO of that time, who was a very good friend of mine and one of my mentors, told me, "Now let me show you the switch." And for me, I'm really zero at anything which is manual. Okay, so for me, the switch is just the light switch. I thought, what do you need to show me? Switch. For me, the switch is a switch. But the switch was a room full of servers. It was like because a switch in telco is what drives the heart of
Okay.
delivering the service. That is what he means by switch. So all of a sudden, I go into this room, and it was full of equipment. So to that extent, I knew nothing about the industry. So literally nothing. But I was there managing that thing. So, but then I love to learn a lot. I hate to study with a passion, but I love to learn with a passion. In fact, I always say whenever they ask me about the career and everything, I start with I did not go to university because, and it's not something because I snob university. I just love to learn big time, but I hate to study big time. It is just studying for the sake of passing an exam.
Yes.
For me is really, and I always kept to my way of being. So whether in life or in work. Authenticity is what I try to strive for. I was not the most popular in my family because obviously my dad used to work 3 jobs to at the time, because this is looking at the 90s, you know. So the fact that I did not go to the university was not very happy about that. But anyways, but it just shows that you can do things and move in life without necessarily moving just from one path. Sometimes we're a bit how would I say, too switched or wired to show the way just in one way.
Yeah, I think indoctrinated.
So I think there's different ways how to, as long as there's passion, as long as there's the hard work, I think you can do a lot. Not necessarily following one path basically. So today I can speak with an engineer like I'm not deep engineering, but in terms colloquially I can have a discussion with an engineer, and you would think that I'm an engineer. But I'm not. I just love learning. So whenever I hear a word, I go and research it to understand. So that passion, that love to learn, is key. But equally, it was for me that is doing something just for nothing. For me, it was for nothing. That is, what am I going to gain with that? That is, what practically can I shift or can I change? If there's nothing practical for me. It's not for everyone, but for me, it had very little value. So whatever I do or whatever I learn, I want to put it into practice. And now there are professions where you need to study, learn. You cannot be a doctor, for example, without studying the body inside out, because you can't know half of the body, for example. Yes. But from a commercial perspective, I'm a commercial guy. So I come from that. It was a different way, and it worked for me. Now, not necessarily works for everyone, but
it still requires an element of bravery and self-confidence to know that I'll find a way. That kind of attitude, yeah. I'll find a way, and not everyone possesses that kind of mindset as well.
True, especially the age also that or the period where in the 90s. So I started at the bank,
which was very safe,
and you wouldn't even think of leaving the bank.
For sure.
The fact that I decided to leave the bank, it was like, everyone telling me you're crazy. The fact that you do it.
Yes.
And I was in a very good position at the time because I was the youngest managerial grade in the bank, because of how things happened, because but things just happened that I was in the right place at the right time of what I was doing, because I was in investment, selling, and the works. And when the new bank came in and they were focusing on that basically there was an opportunity that basically. So the fact that you leave the bank at that time, it was a decision that very few take. That's. But it worked. It worked. Not every risk will work. So there were decisions where did not work, and then you find ways how to make it work, or that don't work the way you thought it was going to work. But I think it's character-wise, it's a bit inbuilt. This thing that. Challenging the norm, a bit of a rebel in the character side,
I'm hearing a lot of freedom as well.
For me,
For me,
that's what drives me. That is that I go and sleep at night and say I did what I decided to do, or I wanted, or I thought it should be. Not necessarily saying that it was right, or what I've done is right. But as long as you do it with the peace of mind that you're doing it in the best interest of the people that you are either leading or the owners of the business, that they're entrusting the business to your decision making, as long as in my mind I'm thinking and doing it in that best interest, then I sleep well.
yes.
That's freedom for me, that I decide in the way. Now many a time, the decision, it could be that it's challenged, and if you're humble enough, sometimes you say, yeah, you're right, it was better that way rather than the other. But then that's another your decision to say, you're right.
Yeah.
That's freedom. To say I was wrong and you're right.
Yes.
So yeah, that is what, let's say, it's what drives me. If I had to think about it and delve deep, is this thing of the freedom of deciding what to do. Not necessarily how other perceive that it's right to do it, and that the freedom then gives me the ability. I think it's an ability that I have, is to look at around me, find the gaps, join the dots, and create and come up with solutions which maybe others who think very in a tunnel fashion, they don't see that. And that's where I think I bring value to the table. It is not by being the smartest. It's more about the ability to look at things and say, look, if I join this with this and this, this can work.
Yes.
But you need freedom of mind to do that.
Yes.
This is my point. Because if you are going to think what the boss would think if you're thinking not the way he wants to think, the owner or the people below, I think then you're restricted to what comes out of your mind, and that is what I'm very adamant that I will not do at all costs, even at the cost of losing a job or being kicked out. That is, and it happened. I think that's the driving force, basically.
Well, thank you for mentioning that, because I do resonate a lot with that. Personally, I tend to see myself as someone who is a very free thinker, to try to think in a different way about the way I do things, and just to connect it with something. As you know, I'm very much involved in volunteering, and I think one of the key differences between volunteering and a full-time job, for example, is that you have the freedom to stay and not to stay. The fact that you're staying, sometimes you give more.
True.
Because you're not bound. The moment something becomes by force, you have to do it because you're obliged to do it, it becomes, is when people mention, when the hobby becomes your full-time job. It's nice if you can monetize your hobby. Yeah. It's nice because you're doing something that you enjoy, but by time, in most cases, according to the feedback that I listen or I read about, is that then you lose
something
out of it. You lose the freedom out of it, essentially. Yeah. That's what you're reminding me of, is that once something becomes an obligation rather than a pleasure of sorts, then we lose interest about it. And the fact that you try to bring that philosophy even at work, that I'm free to make my own choices even if I'm not the boss, I think that's something very liberating and challenge.
It is, and I think many people miss a lot because they put themselves in a box, and not necessarily their bosses are going to say something wrong about it. The owner or your boss or the CEO, at the end of the day, they want to lead and give a direction, and that's their role, and that's what. And if you're the owner, it's even more important. But I think they appreciate people who come up with ideas which could be really totally opposite to how they think. When I say appreciate, not necessarily happy about it.
Yes.
Okay. But deep down, the fact that someone comes with a different perspective and has the ability to say it, I think they appreciate that they can evaluate something which is different from what they think. Now, many times they might say, "Yeah, I listen to you. You might have a point, but this is the way I want to do it."
Mm.
That's fair enough, because it's your business. At the end of the day, you have the right to decide, because it's your money. You're risking the money, so I think it's a right.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a right to ask me to say things the way you want. It's a right that you decide how you want. Mm-hmm. But if you want an opinion and about someone who basically, I think it's my right to say how I see things should be done. But it's not my right to expect you as the boss or the owner to accept my.
Yes.
I think that there's that. I think companies don't move forward the moment the people within the teams say things how they think they will be perceived by their bosses to fit the narrative.
Mm-hmm.
The moment that is the culture, then you don't move forward,
mm-hmm.
because there's nothing new.
Yeah.
There's no challenge. You're just.
You mentioned a very key ingredient, in my opinion, is that you have to, if you're asked about your opinion or about what you think, you have to give your opinion with a sense of neutrality, without the expectation of that idea or that opinion being taken action
Exactly.
upon. And because sometimes when, at least it happened to me as well, but I've followed clients who experience this as well. Sometimes when you share an idea or an opinion, you might, your superior, your colleague, or the person that you report to might be intimidated by your insight, your knowledge, your way of thinking. I was reminded by, not sure if you're familiar with it or you've read it, I didn't, but I know about it. the 48 Laws of Power.
I don't know what it is.
There is one of them, I might be saying it wrongly completely. Never outshine your master. So yeah, if you don't do it, I think with a sense of neutrality, as you're mentioning,
And also with tact. So what I'm saying is that is not without any consideration.
Yes.
So you need to be tactful. Even the timing when you say it, where you say it, it could be a tête-à-tête. You say, look, in the meeting, there was this, and they go, I think it could be done differently. But you feel liberated when you are able to say what you think is in the best interest of,
Yes.
not in your best interest, in the best interest of the company and of who's leading, because you see yourself as helping the leader to the right decision. But yes, there are politics involved. You need to learn how to. And many times I made the mistakes that I did not consider the politics involved, and that is where the learning curve comes. So where you make mistakes, and you learn from those mistakes. You realize, okay, if I said it in that context in a different way, it would have been taken or understood in a different way. That is why I'm saying the how. It's not the what, but the how is key. Mm-hmm. But the what, it will always be, I have the freedom to say what I want to say. Mm-hmm. The how it is a very important element to the equation. Mm-hmm. And you learn by doing. You learn by observing what worked, when it worked, with which characters it worked, with others wouldn't. So it's not a black or white easy, but when reading, I don't know if you've read.
Not a very good reader.
No, there was a book. It was called The Winning, which was by the previous CEO of General Electric.
Okay.
And one chapter is about Candour, to be candid.
Okay.
About things. because it cuts through.
I think Julian mentioned this as well.
Could well
Because he
be.
does mention the word.
It cuts through the chase, and you need to be candid about things. The way how to do it, but to be candid and say things how they are, I think makes a company or a business move forward quite faster than having to spend the time playing the politics by saying it, I think being candid, but tactfully candid.
Tactfully.
Candid.
There's always the risk. I mean, with being candid and being frank and being direct, there's always the risk of hurting someone. And some positive things might emerge from that, but sometimes not. So I think you need to be aware of this context
very much.
and what potentially can go wrong.
Yep.
Because I think if you know what potentially can go wrong and you're willing to absorb the impact, I think, at least from my experience so far working in organizations and with people, if you know how the message will end, even if it lands negatively, you know how to react. You're prepared for it. So thinking about what potentially go wrong is a very good strategy as well.
It is, but I think the positives outweigh.
Yes.
My experience has always outweighed the negatives. I've seen people change to the better by being candid about things, always tactfully candid. In various that is not only in the job or just even in their personal life, because at the end of the day, people come to work and they bring their personal life to the place of work. Mm-hmm. And you need to, as a leader, I think you need to be, let's say, quite open in the sense that you're not tackling only the job, because the job part is, there's also the personal part which you need to take care of, and you need to be quite a good listener. I'm trained, as I said, in private banking. Private banking is all about listening. That is 95% listening. You talk 5%. When you say listen, because what you learn by listening means how much money the client is willing to invest with you and to what level he's going to trust you. And that listening, you gain a lot of skills, and observing a lot. So I think that part comes in quite handy and important with managing and leading people, and also leading owners of businesses who are entrusting you with leading the organization. So you're listening from both sides and trying to find, let's say, the right way how to do things. But you can help also people on a personal level quite a lot. There are some times that you don't manage, and sometimes there would be situations where it really goes. But I think out of 10, I would say 7.5, 8 are positive to negative. I think it's worth the risk.
Kenneth, you work a lot with people and even on an international basis as well. What does still fascinate you about human nature?
One is that everyone is trying to find his happy place. I think at the end of the day, that's what people, at the end of the day, that is what drives us to be happy. I think I always think that I want to be happy. I think my wife wants to be happy. My family wants to be happy. My colleagues. That's how I see it. And happiness comes through a number of build-ups. So you can have Maslow's theory where you have your basics.
Yes.
So, because once you have your basics set, then your worrying part becomes a totally different ballgame. That is, you have your home, your food, so your basics are there. Then obviously, what I find is what fascinates me is what makes people happy, the different things that make people happy. And sometimes we underestimate or think that you are happy if you do this, But in actual fact, when we talk, you'll find that very different things trigger the good feeling. Some, it could be your job title, some it could be the fact that you're able to help, or you're part of a project where you feel, there are different things that make you satisfied, happy, and I think that is what keeps on fascinating me, that very different people are triggered by very different happy points. I think, and that is where the challenge is. Mm-hmm. To keep on listening, to keep on observing and understanding the other side of the story. I always, you're trained, and when you're in a commercial role, there's selling and there's negotiating. Selling, you're giving this biro and you're giving me 10 cents for it, and you're going to negotiate about a biro. When you negotiate, you're always going to leave something on the table. And that something is very different for everyone. What they're happy to leave on the table, what they're happy to part with, in order for them to say, okay, I'm signing this contract, I'm happy about it. I think there are very different characters who would leave very different parts of an equation and identifying and understanding what is that for each person that you're, means that you need to ask a lot of questions. Mm-hmm. So a lot of people are afraid of asking questions. Mm-hmm. You need to know the other side, so you ask a lot of questions. And by asking those questions, you understand the human nature and the different, and sometimes it's incredible what the other side is, what is very important for him. Mm-hmm. It could be, I need to be at home at 5 because my wife is waiting for me, and basically, so, if I'm going to a meeting with you, let's do it at 3, because I know that, your timing, I'm fitting your timing. That you'll find that there are a lot of people who are just adamant to fit their own agenda, their own calendar. This is just a simple, a simple example, Mm-hmm. So being considerate about it, so listening. So I think that is what fascinates me a lot. That the human nature is still complex. And in that complexity, if you are intrigued about it, you ask the questions to understand where that happy place is for the person. Mm-hmm. It might sound romantic, but it's not. When you put the money on the table in a business context, I think it's key of what makes a deal and what breaks it. And sometimes there are deals that are not meant to be done. Mm-hmm. So,
what makes a deal that is not meant to be done? What are the signs?
I would say the signs are when what the other side wants you to leave on the table goes either against your values, either against, let's say, the commercial interest of the deal, which makes the deal. Mm-hmm. So don't go into the deal just for at all cost. When it's at all cost, I think it comes to bite you. So you always think, if I'm dealing now, this is not a deal now. This is a deal that I'm going to carry for the next 5 to 10 years. How am I going to support it? Financially, operationally. There's a lot of that, and don't be too quick about dealing. A lot of people think that fast is what you're in for. No, it's the right timing, which is what you're in for. Mm-hmm. So being fast doesn't necessarily mean good. Mm-hmm. In people's mind, fast is good.
Yes.
We're moving. It's not. I think it's the right timing, which is what you.
Timing.
What you try. Sometimes it's you need to be super fast.
Yes.
But sometimes you need to be super slow. And have the patience of being super. And there's a spectrum of speed, and I think that's what understanding that is key, mm-hmm. in my opinion. Mm-hmm. Also, when you're going up in a career, when to bring someone up to the next level. No, there are people who you immediately know, I can bring this guy up or this girl up, in 6 months. She's there, he's there, and you do the move. Don't wait because of seniority, because of bureaucracy that you need to wait for another 12 months, 18 months. Why? Because if he's good now, it means that in someone's mind, he wants to grow. If you're not giving him that growth, or higher growth, they're going to find it somewhere else. So if you need to be fast, be fast. But there are places or let's say opportunities where you need to be moderate or very slow about it, because that's the right timing. Whether it's people, whether it is product, sometimes a product is launched pre the right timing, and you lose all the advantage. Then there are others that you really know to be fast, because the moment it's so needed that basically now you take the, for me timing is key.
Mm-hmm.
So you asked, what because it came from the question, what fascinates you. I think understanding these dynamics of what makes people happy, they are very different. I think that's what still fascinates me in the human. That deep down, it's still about being happy and wanting to do good. Now that's a very tall order.
And open for interpretation as well.
And open for interpretation, because everyone has.
Good, it's very subjective.
Very subjective. So, and that's why you need to ask a lot of questions. And so I spent a lot of time asking questions myself. I'm trained to, also because, let's say, the training came from the financial services side. In financial services, you're giving advice, and in order to give advice, you need to understand the situation of the person. So the more questions you ask, the more you know, and then the more you can tailor make the proposal to fit that person's personal situation. And asking also difficult questions sometimes. A lot of people are afraid of asking difficult questions. If you ask them in the right way, you get the answers, because people want to talk.
Yeah.
I think that is what people want to talk about themselves. They want to talk about their family, their business. They're happy giving you all the information in the world. Very happy doing it. Most of the time, a lot of people don't ask the questions, so you don't get to know. Because the words, what is the words that I have here? Telling you, I don't want to tell you this. But if you come from the right place, I think it's.
And I think it's very, at least even from my experience, it's very rare that you get that. I don't want to tell you this.
Yeah.
Because if you've built, you can ask a question prematurely.
Yes.
That's where timing comes in, as you mentioned. But in most cases, people would be very willing to share and open up. I'm going to stay around this table. While doing certain episodes, obviously sitting behind a desk, answering questions behind the mic, behind the camera, it can feel a bit strange. And it's not the first time that I started opening up first, being vulnerable first, so that I enable the other person to do the same. Sometimes mirroring helps. Yeah. Sometimes sharing one's struggles is also a key to helping the other person open up. So that creates that common vulnerable space. So in order to receive, we need to give first sometimes as well. And again, but it's all about timing. Some people just give you the information even if you don't ask for it. True.
No, it's true. And everyone has his own different way. That's what fascinates me in the human nature, because we are so different. Situations are so different that every interaction brings something new. This is what I love about people. Yes. This is why I'm not most probably an engineer, because I would be liaising with a machine. Yes. Which there's a box which people are complex, and I think in that complexity there's the fun of it. Yes. That's where where there's fun. that complex environment, the people environment.
You mentioned the Maslow's hierarchy of needs as well, and I think the way I would have phrased what you've said, Kenneth, is that we're all driven by needs. You said we're all finding our happy place, which is although it might sound romantic, I think it's very nicely put as well, because needs. It sounds a bit cold and distant to some degree. It still might be the basis of it, and we are all in need of something. But I think one of them is being happy, finding an equilibrium in what we're doing.
Yeah.
I think it's something that we do naturally.
I think there's happiness and beauty.
Mm.
We lost the sense of trying to have beauty. When I say
In what
beauty,
sense?
for me, beauty means that you look. You like to look at beautiful things.
Mm-hmm.
It's natural. In the run to either make money, we lost sight almost completely of making sure that we do beautiful things. Because beautiful things take more time to do them. You need to be more creative. It also needs more money, most probably. So we end up with a situation where, let's say, our environment, which is where we live, you see a lot of shortcuts, and you see shortcuts whether it is in the physical space, you see shortcuts in the people space. So striving for beauty means a beautiful relationship, a beautiful place, a beautiful house. Look around us, and basically you're building, and basically there's no sense of beauty. It's just like a bland environment. So you cannot be happy if you're not living in a beautiful environment, in my mind. And that means the workplace needs to be, and what's beautiful doesn't mean to be luxury. It is basically, it's a pleasant environment that you enjoy working in an environment, and that comes with different building blocks. It's the people side, it is the physical side, it is also the culture side, because at the end of the day, those three together makes what is, in my mind, beautiful. And sometimes we lose that, let's say, aim.
Yes.
That what we do is us to be happy internally, but being happy by being in a beautiful environment of sorts, the different place. So I think, for me, if I had to say, what drives me are these two things. That's so you end up challenging a lot if you're driven by those concepts.
Yes.
Because around you will see beauty is in the eye of the beholder. But definitely we need, let's say, a balance approach where whoever is, it might be very beautiful for you, but because it's very beautiful for you, it's a hindrance for me. So we need to find that balance. So beauty for everyone.
What I'm hearing as well under the word beauty is intent and purpose.
Agreed.
So
It's a better way how to articulate what maybe I'm thinking.
Perhaps more tangible.
Yeah,
because
more
beauty
tangible.
is a
Yeah, exactly.
Well, I think it's a better word because it's more romantic in a way. But it's the result of, so intent and purpose. I think because what in the way that you were describing is that we lost our intentionality. We just do things for the sake of doing things, and we're not doing them for a specific purpose.
Yeah.
As we were mentioning before, we go to university, we go to school just to pass an exam. There's neither intent nor purpose in it. Just we're doing it because it ticks the exercise.
Yeah.
And I resonate a lot with that because I have encountered clients at Endeavour where what we provide is aesthetic of the box exercise, and as you know, I try to build the solution around the client. So there is a lot of intentionality and purpose because we examine the situation, we identify the problem and perhaps the root cause, and we're attempting to find a solution that makes everyone happy, to use a word that you used. And so it's definitely not, I think, of the box exercise. And when I'm asked to do something just for the sake of doing it, usually it's not a client that I end up working with or end up working with long term. Because that's not the work that I would like to do, because that doesn't bring me joy in a way, because it doesn't have beauty in it. There's no intent nor purpose for me. And I'm quite driven by those elements as well.
And at the end of the day, it's the people element. That's what makes it. That is a previous boss of mine, owner of a big business, but he always had this thing that always resonated with me. Because we always say, it's all about people. You hear this word. It's all about people, you know. And he used to tell me, it's only about people. It's not all about it. It's only about people. For him, that is, we have to do everything is driven only about people. That is what I wanted to emphasize. It's not all about people. That is, don't take it as a statement that it's all about people. It should be focused only about people. That is where you make a difference. When you're looking at people and doing it, that is the only thought process in your mind is people. Then from the people comes everything else. So don't use that phrase nonchalantly, basically, just to say, it's all about people. Because you're using it in a way that doesn't bring focus to it.
Yes.
While for him, that change of phrase, it's only about people. It meant that's the focus.
Yes.
That's what the people are going to, the people who make the difference. So let's work towards the environment for the people, because then everything else falls into place. Structure all about the people. So it's all focused. The people at the center of everything. I think it's quite true. Because the moment you shift from there, then you don't keep the person inside at the center of your decision making, and becomes and it always creates problems.
I think what's important in that is that you know your non-negotiables,
yes,
and you know how to set boundaries and respect
definitely. There's a structure.
Yes,
definitely. No. So not everything at all costs.
Yes.
And sometimes you also have to be quite. So sometimes it happens that you have people who are the bad apples, and basically, and so you need to weed out, and lesson learned from my experiences. Do it as quickly as possible. Nip it at the bud as quickly when there's the negative part to that, because it really creates a very difficult situation for you, for the team.
Mm-hmm.
So, and not because necessarily the person is a bad person. Sometimes people don't fit. So you help them. You have to see it as a way of how to help people. So sometimes I had to let go of people. Almost in my mind, the first thing that I think is that, how am I going to help them find another job whilst doing it? Where could be an environment that fits? Because they would have very good skills, or they just don't fit your environment, not because they're necessarily bad, or just the environment does not work in favor of their strengths.
Yes.
It's a totally different. Because sometimes you do better recruiting, or it happens. Because through the recruitment process you find that you think that someone fits the bill, and but then when it comes into practice, it doesn't work.
It's chemistry sometimes.
It's chemistry. It does, and I think it's if you see it that it's not an easy way how to say it, because it's people. But if you think about doing that for someone's own good, because they will find a place where they belong and they can perform more. Now, obviously, it's not always possible to find a job for them, but helping them, because many times you have a lot of contacts, and making an introduction, for example. As long as it's not someone that either stole something, this is not about those situations. This is about people who sometimes they don't fit the environment. It could be a fast-paced environment where this guy takes a lot of someone who thinks a lot about things, and he might fit into somewhere where it pays to have someone who really goes deep into a problem to solve it, which might not be the case for your particular product or your particular company. So I think it's important to, for the good of someone. Sometimes, as they say, you need to be cruel to be kind. I think it's you should do it in a good way, but you should do it. Don't spend a lot of time thinking about doing it.
What I'm thinking about, Ken, is that it's the intent how we approach it.
Exactly. Exactly. The intent is key because it's not about the intent is for the better of these people, but also for the, because you will know if you are self-critical, you will know whether you fit or you're fitting or not. I think it's. And I've gone through this. That is, I've left companies because I chose to have a better position or join something new. And also in those moves, I had times where I've been told you need to move out because either there isn't a fit anymore. So I went through both sides, and there's nothing to be ashamed of because sometimes things work, sometimes things don't. As long as who's doing it is doing it in the right way, with the right also explanation and everything, yes. Then, although it hurts at the time, but when you realize, let's find something which better fits, because you're right. It's not. So these are always difficult situations. I went through them both. So and I think I've changed companies, I think 5 or 6 times. 3 times because I chose to, 3 times because I was asked to leave. And there's nothing wrong about it. As long as, and all of the time, is both coming from me and coming back for different reasons, So I think it's better like that rather than being stuck in a place where you're there for the money. Because
deep down you would know it.
You would know it, that. So I think it's deep down. You know that
that your time is up.
That your time is up. Now sometimes you know it and you do something about it yourself.
Yeah.
So you try to find somewhere else, but not necessarily that you're going to find it immediately. And that could be a time where who's leading say, look, we can't go this way anymore for certain reasons, not necessarily because you're a bad guy or just there isn't a fit, for example, anymore. Mm-hmm. And basically that's the so I think it's a journey. I think success is a journey of positives and negatives, failures, and you learn a lot from that part. So. Yeah, I think in life you'll have those. I call them the 3 types of mentorship. I think there's those people who mentor you because it's their way how to do things that they want to mentor, so they teach you a lot, and you see it. It's natural in them, and they make it a point that they want to help, and I think that is, and when you have those, it's a big blessing. I think you need to take advantage of that and recognize it. But then there's those who are unintentional. There are the unintentional positives. So you have people who are so good at what they do that if you observe them, you learn a lot. But they're not mentoring you. That is, they're not making an effort.
Yes.
And then there's those others which they're doing the wrong things, and you're mentored what not to do.
I call it a list of do not do's.
And that's also unintentional. So I think it's always learning. But obviously, you're blessed when you find someone who takes the time and effort, and you see that there's let's say.
Not everyone has that capability.
No. That's why I say it's a big blessing when you find someone like that.
Most people lie between the second one and the third one.
It's true.
Either one or the other, or somewhere in between.
True. But I was lucky enough to have, let's say, 2-3 who basically made the effort and wanted you to grow. Maybe they would be experienced people who it could be they don't see you as a threat, because sometimes there's that element.
Yes.
But also they are at a space in life where they want to grow to grow people.
Yes.
And I was quite lucky in that sense that I found 2-3 who basically
I don't think these people come a lot in our lives. I think we have.
It's becoming more difficult because of the fast environment, and but there are still very good people that
are willing to share.
That is my experience. And I try to, if there's the opportunity to be one.
Yes.
Not easy, because it takes time, and also it takes the other party to want to be mentored
and resonate with your style as well,
so
everyone has their own style.
So but it could be something which is basic, and it could be something which doesn't mean to be scientific, or something which is really really complex. So I remember one which was it was when I started selling. I started to sell life insurance. So basically we were bank employees, and it was the first time that a bank had a team of salespeople who sell at people's home, not in the branches. So basically you go, you do appointments, and you cannot sell at the bank actually for regulatory reasons, because it becomes competitive. So basically you just have a name, address, and telephone number, you call, and I was, I think, 21. And my boss, God bless his soul, because he passed away at the age of 21. I thought it was cool to wear a white trousers, a black shirt, with studs. It was like I was looking like John Travolta on steroids, basically, But I remember he called me and told me, "I think you're well dressed," and for me I was, because basically it was the trouser which was the most expensive that I've bought. The belt, which was the most expensive that I bought. The most expensive. So for me, I thought that I'm putting on my best.
Your best self.
My best self, because I thought I spent money in this. So it was the most money I spent, And he told me, this is financial services. You need to wear, colors which resonate. And give me this example. Would you see a policeman wearing green like a nurse? No. This is the same. So this is a simple one, okay? Yes. I think, but it kept with me till today. That is, you dress depending on the occasion. Sometimes you're casual. Sometimes you're and that's mentorship. If he didn't care, he would have left me there. So sometimes mentorship doesn't need to become from what of knowledge. Sometimes it's simple things that make a difference. Mm-hmm. And I still remember this fondly, because I remember, and then I looked at the mirror and said, "Yeah, I look like I'm going to Pachifield." And
it's a good look for another context.
Exactly. But if there wasn't this person who told me,
yes,
and no one tells you, you keep on, because you think that you're doing the
right way.
The right way,
But you have to be willing to accept as
yes,
well.
Yes. But these people, that is, if you accept, it's and this is something simple. That is what to wear and where to wear it, basically.
For sure.
Although you would have thought that you're putting on your best,
definitely,
because I would have spent all my pocket money at that time. I thought.
You're doing yourself a favor.
This is what you think fondly about these mentors. That sometimes there are simple things that keep with you for life. I still keep them in mind, and let's say in my prayers, because they've taught me a lot and changed me quite.
Some people have a certain impact. on us.
Yes, yeah. And you have to recognize, appreciate it, and thank God for it. Because you wouldn't be the same person, without that advice, and so, yeah.
Okay, at the end of our episode, I didn't expect it to be so philosophical, to be honest. We were going to discuss about other stuff, but I was very pleased with the way the conversation flowed, let's say. But as promised, I'm going to ask you to pick one of these, read it out loud.
Okay, let's see.
Like a rapid fire question.
Let's see what it is.
Thank God you have long arms, because most people wouldn't have reached.
So the question is, what's a recent experience that changed your perspective on life? we're still in the philosophical. I couldn't have. I couldn't have. But look, you know about this, and it's not an easy one for me to talk about. But around 10 years ago, my eldest son had brain cancer. So that's basically a life-changing experience. And I think what I learned from, thank God, everything went well, through a very tough period. But I think what I learned from there is to trust the process, trust people. Because you're in a place where there's nothing you can do. So there are two things that you learn, at least I learned, that is, you don't have the power to change anything. So you need to trust, and it's not easy to trust. But you're in a corner that the only thing that you can do is trust, and that helped me a lot. Then going forward and improving in that element, still challenging and still being myself. And but then once a decision is taken, let's trust and so I think that. And also, it is also, let's say, the spiritual and the faith part, which basically helped me in taking it, and going through the process, and I would say being calm about the situation in a way that I know that I cannot do anything about it. You should not panic. It's I think that those two things. Then the learning from that kept on then in shaping the way I lead a business. I lead conversations. I think it's it was a life-changing moment. Thank God all went through and those good. But obviously it's something which changes a bit your perspective, because you're always about being 1,000 miles an hour, and then something happens in life, and you have to. And those are the moments where I think, let's say, letting go the want to be in charge and
discover how helpless and fragile.
It is, but then it helps you. It helps you a lot in other things. You see in life in a very different. This is why I said it's quite philosophical to what. But when you add all this, the philosophy part of things, in the practical side, these come to play heavily, because then when you're calm about things, you have perspective, you conclude more business.
Yes.
It's much more without knowing that the way becomes much easier to do, because you see life from a different angle and perspective. But always keep in mind that at least for me, I'm always going to challenge the norm and ask the questions before saying yes. Then once I say yes,
you're 100% committed.
Yeah, and committed, and also basically backing whoever is leading. I think that is very important, to back whoever is leading, as long as you're
Mm-hmm.
You're happy doing it. So yeah.
Kenneth, thank you. We made it.
We made it.
Because this has been a bit of a long time coming as well.
Maybe it took a twist, which is...
Well, I'm glad with the twist. I'm really pleased with the conversation, how it turned out. So thank you for sharing and for answering the questions. I do think a lot about what you say, not in this only in this context, but also in the other context where I think you have a lot to offer, and I learn a lot from your stories and from what you share. So thank you for being you, I guess.
I try to be. I think everyone should be himself. I think life is too short to try to be someone else, or who is not you're not comfortable with, whatever the situation is. So I think I think everyone should be himself, and whatever type and shape.
Thank you, Kenneth.
You're welcome. It was a pleasure to be on the podcast. Hopefully inspiring some conversation as well. Sure.